everyone. Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone, and you're watching the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. 1 hour of commercial-free podcasting starts now. Enjoy the show.
Hit us with the intro, please.
Welcome back to the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. I will be here today with T-Gods and Matt. Q is on vacation, so it's just going to be the three of us today. And we're definitely still dealing with some technical difficulties on Matt's end, so bear with us. But we will get the show going no matter what. The show must go on. But for today's show, we're going to focus on the Cardinals and the Seahawks for our first episode of the NFC West. And Thursday, we will do the 49ers and the Super Bowl champion Rams. Let's get right into talking about the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks are an interesting team because they traded away franchise quarterback Russell Wilson this offseason to the Broncos, getting Drew Lock in return. So how big of a hit is this to the offense? And do you think Drew Lock has any value, or do you think they even go with starting someone like Geno Smith?
That's a big hit. I think that brings like everybody on the offense's value down tremendously, except maybe Rashad Penny. I think they could lean on the run game a little bit more. And we know Chris Carson's injury history. But, yeah, as far as pass catchers.
You were going to be talking a lot about them. A whole lot.
Yeah, that's going to be the main focus probably about this team because they've been so good for the last at least 5 years, 6 years, especially Lockett. And before Metcalf, Doug Baldwin, this team has always had good pass catchers because Russell Wilson, now that he's gone, Drew Lock changes this entire dynamic of this offense. I think it's a big hit overall. I think they could even start Geno Smith. They saw him look all right last year in replacement of Russell Wilson. But do you guys think they should look elsewhere for quarterback, like some of the guys that are still being thrown around in rumors, Baker Mayfield, Jimmy G, or just rock out with what they have?
I'm rocking out. I'm honestly rocking out. It's not worth the money that Baker or Jimmy G is going to want. Like, bro, Baker... for fantasy at least, big pooper. I don't think he really helps anybody.
Yeah.
I think if anything,
I would agree with that.
Downgrade.
Yeah. I think Baker and Jimmy G, neither of them are going to be like the guy you really want leading your franchise. I think they're more of like band-aids for a team that like has a full roster constructed that could get to the championship. And hoping that the quarterback isn't going to hold you back at that point. I don't think the Seahawks are in that position. So I think they should just rock out with what they have and just see if they have any value and go from there.
Agreed.
But additionally, in that trade, the Seahawks also acquired T-God's favorite tight end, Noah Fant.
No, Poopy.
What does his value look like for this upcoming season after finishing as tight end 12 last year and tight end 8 in 2020?
He has the same quarterback. I don't expect much improvement from him. I mean, he was supposed to be like a top 5 tight end option last year, and throughout the whole season, it was just god awful.
Yeah, he was definitely up and down last year. Seeing him take a step back from 2020 was kind of disappointing. He was a little banged up here and there also. But yeah, I think at best he's a sleeper tight end you grab just because you believe in that talent that he can be decent tight end.
What talent are you speaking of?
He's an average. He's a top 10 tight end on average the last 2 years. So, I mean, there's something there.
Fluky, 2 flukes.
All right. Well, I think your drafting was like tight end like 16 through 20, like more of a tight end 2 in if you play that kind of league, which is crazy behavior, but more of a backup tight end for me.
Yeah, there shouldn't even be 1 tight end. There should be 0.
Whoa, we could get to that debate another time.
Fine.
All right. Let's move on to the run game. Chris Carson went down with a neck injury last year, making way for Rashad Penny to take over, who averaged 22.5 points per game over the last 5 games.
Menace.
Unreal. But with his own injury history as well, the Seahawks also decided to add rookie running back Kenneth Walker. I don't know if he likes going by Kenneth anymore, so I'm rock with Ken. In the second round, how do you think this backfield shakes out this season, and who are you targeting to draft?
I'm still targeting Penny, right? Am I wrong for that?
I would try to avoid it as best I could, though. I feel like it could end up being like kind of a committee approach.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know.
But if I want one, it's definitely Penny.
Yeah. I think Penny's definitely the guy to start the season. He's going to be the guy that gets the opportunity to have the most work. But Penny's also shown in his career that like injuries have always kind of kept him from being that RB1, the true workhorse. In a small sample size last year, we got to see him healthy, and he has the talent. I'm just nervous about his health also. He's been banged up, missed a lot of games over the last – he's been in the league since 2017, I think. So it's been like 5 years that he's been around and just not been doing much, just kind of came out of the woodwork. I think short term, I think the first few weeks it's going to be the Penny show, but I think long term, Ken Walker's the guy I want. So that's the guy I'm targeting in drafts personally.
I don't know. I feel like if you're drafting one, you're drafting the other.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're fucking up.
Yeah. You definitely prefer to have both. They are going kind of close in ADP, so you might have to reach on one to lock up that backfield. But yeah, I think both would be ideal. But I think Walker ends up taking over more of that work later in the season, especially with the fresh legs and everything. All right, let's move on to some cap or no cap. Let's start with this. Despite the quarterback situation, DK Metcalf still has the potential to finish as a top 12 wide receiver.
I love DK so much, but I got to say cap.
I'm also saying cap. I don't want to give you why I say that because that will be my bold take. But no, I will pay each of you money if he finishes top 12.
Wow.
Quarterback play is just going to be so inconsistent. It's going to be hard for any of those receivers to find much success on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the quarterback situation definitely limits his chance to finish top 12. I wouldn't be like supremely shocked if he was like just the main option of this whole team. They're going to be down a lot. They're not going to be winning games. So they're going to throw. You might get garbage time points and whatnot. But yeah, I still don't think he's like, I wouldn't rank him in my top 12. He's probably closer to 20 than he is to 12. So
no, all that garbage time's going to Noah Fant.
It could. Definitely could. But yeah, nah, I don't know. DK, he has the potential, I guess. So I guess say no cap, but I don't think he's going to finish top 12 personally. All right. Next one, Tyler Lockett feels the quarterback transition a bit harder, and he falls outside of the top 25 wide receivers for the first time since 2017.
No cap. He made his money on the deep ball from Russ, and Drew Lock cannot throw the ball deep to save his life. Russell Wilson for years was one of the best deep ball throwers in the league, and you go from that to Drew Lock, and it's going to be hard for Lockett to find much success because I feel like if they're going like over the middle or anything, they're throwing it to the big body and DK.
There he goes. Sound cuts out. I could take over, I guess. I want to say cap only because I don't think that Lockett feels it like harder. I don't think he drops off more. I think DK goes from 13 last year to 20. Well, I don't know where Lockett finished, but I don't think he drops more than DK does. That's just me. And I mean, we're talking about garbage time. They're going to be losing and stuff. Who's the deep threat? Tyler Lockett. So
Lockett's the deep threat.
He's gonna get his. He'll get his crazy 70-yard touchdown. I don't know. I think he'll be right where he was last year because he was still iffy last year.
He was 15 last year, and he's been top 17.
No, he wasn't.
Actually. Swear to God, 15.
No,
last
he wasn't. No shot.
Year,
Lockett was 15.
8 2020, 13 in 2019, and 17 in 2018. So he's been top 17 the last 4 years.
Oh my God! Bold take. Lockett finishes over DK.
Ooh, okay. Just coming out of the woodwork with a new bold take. That's bold.
I like that one.
That's a little spicy. I do like Lockett, but I'm definitely more on the definitely no cap side. I think he's going to feel this a bit harder just because I don't think Drew Lock's going to be as accurate. I think there's going to be probably 3 or 4 games this year where you're there's Tyler Lockett. I should have started him. He's on my bench.
Mm-hmm.
And then
there always is.
The other games, he's not going to have that consistent basis of targets that he somewhat got. I know he was always a little bit inconsistent, but I think it's going to be you're going to feel that more. It's going to be like Deshaun Jackson-esque. He's going to have those big games, but he's going to disappear for more games than you typically see. So I don't know if he falls outside the top 25. I think around 25 is where I would feel comfortable. All right, he'll be my flex and we'll see what happens because the upside's still there. All right, last cap or no cap for the Seahawks. if the Seahawks add Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo, their wide receiver core gets a bump up in your personal rankings. Cap or no cap?
Cap.
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 Jarvin Odell.
Very
Who'd
true.
like them with Baker?
Not me.
Nobody.
Not me.
Jimmy G. He hasn't moved the needle.
No.
I would agree. I'm going to say Cap also. I don't think a new quarterback really moves them up. Drew Lock is actually kind of known for just throwing it up, similar to Jameis Winston for the first couple seasons he was playing in Denver. So maybe he actually gives them a little bit more value than Baker and Jimmy G, who are more like check down, play it safe. I'm not airing it out every play kind of guys. So we'll see if they do add a quarterback or not. But either way, not super excited about this passing offense. All right, let's do some bold takes. Matt, what do you got?
I'm going to say that the Seahawks finished the season with a bottom 10 record in the league. Their division does not help them. I feel like that could be an easy 6 losses for them. And the quarterback play is going to be a roller coaster throughout the entire season. So I just don't see them winning more than 8 games.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm actually going to agree with that bold take. I think they could be a bottom 10 team in the league. Seeing them fall from grace after being pretty much
And their
not a
defense
dynasty, but
still doo-doo.
yeah, their defense is bad too. All right, you guys, what you got?
Okay, my bold take. So DK finishes outside of the top 15. It's going to break a lot of people's hearts. It's going to break my heart. DK is crazy good. He doesn't deserve this quarterback. Whichever one he gets, he doesn't deserve him. But last year, 75 receptions. I don't think he gets more than that this year. 967 yards. I don't think he gets more than that this year. And 12 touchdowns. I don't think he gets more than that this year either. Like,
Yeah,
he's
touchdowns really
just
carried him last year.
seriously carried him.
Yeah, he was,
And he
missing,
finished
like,
13, by the way.
Yeah,
It's crazy to think he didn't have over 1,000 yards.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That's nuts. I bet you
After-
Lockett did, though, somehow.
yeah. Lockett did. I'm, like, positive. Lockett had 1175 yards. on
Ewy,
73
ewy.
catches.
Oh my
He
God,
had
they
less
had like the
catches.
same stats. He's had like, how many touchdowns? Do you have like 4?
He had 8.
8. Oh my
Yeah.
God, why is Lockett so good, low-key?
He's solid. I mean, he's just
More.
inconsistent. Like there's
I
games
know.
where he just disappears. That's what always kills Tyler Lockett every year. We talk about him every week
I
throughout the
know.
season on Calm or Chaos. Like, what do you do with him? But all right. My bold take, I thought I was going to skip T-Gots for a second there, is that Ken Walker finishes as a top 15 running back this season.
Bold.
Super bold. Kind of similar to Javonte Williams last year, which didn't end up, I don't know if he ended up hitting exactly what I said. I don't remember my exact take, but he's kind of the guy I'm leaning on this year to be that rookie running back that breaks through. Like I said, Rashad Penny has his own injury history. He's never really handled the full workload. I do think it's going to be a committee for a little bit. Chris Carson, I don't think he's going to play much of a factor. I do think he's probably going to still be involved, but I think they should be more worried about his health than just getting him on the field, especially at his age at this point too. He's been around for a while. I think they're going to be a bad team as well. So halfway through the season, it's kind of going to be like, let's see what he's got. Let the reins go. He could be a league winner for the second half of the season. And that's why I really think Ken Walker is someone I'm targeting, especially at his current ADP, to not only be a productive back, but possibly be a top 15 running back. So that's my guy this year. Pounding the drum for him. Draft him.
Boom. I could dig it.
I respect it. Let's move on to T-God's hat, the Arizona Cardinals. Let's start with Matt's jersey. The biggest news. Former team, DeAndre Hopkins, suspended for 6 weeks for PEDs after battling injuries through the second half last season. He did average 16.7 points per game before getting hurt in week 8 last year. So very solid overall. But are you targeting him this year, and where are you thinking about drafting him?
Definitely targeting him. 100%. He's going to, like, if you can get like a good deal for him, he's your league winner. 100%.
If you can manage a good team and you have D-Hop on your bench for the first 6 weeks and him coming off and just putting him in your starting lineup, you're in a good spot.
Yeah, seriously, even if you're just like 3-3.
Yeah, that's literally all you need.
All you
exactly.
need.
It's tough taking a guy that's suspended just because your lineup is just hurting for half of the season. So like you really need to get those wins in that first part of the season. Like you don't want to be sitting there 1-5 when he comes back and just hoping that he carries you to the playoffs. So you definitely need to draft your depth well if you do target him. But if he's falling in your draft to like I guess I would say like the 8th round.
I don't think he falls that far.
7th, 8th round, maybe 6th. If you're already set with like 2 or 3 wide receivers that are solid, like as a third wide receiver, I'm happy taking him. Honestly, I'd probably take him as like my third wide receiver off the board. I already have 2 running backs. I think at that point you're safe to reach if you want to make that reach because
someone's going to reach.
Difference.
Someone is reaching in your draft. If you want him, you have to reach higher.
Price.
Yeah, you got to pay the price. It's a high risk, high reward, but I think it's worth it. I think when he comes back, he's still going to be a top wide receiver. People have been sleeping on him a little bit, acting like he's fallen off. But when he was healthy last year, like I said, 16 points per game, one of the best in the league still. And that was the first time in a long time.
The best.
He wasn't like one of the best fantasy wide receivers. So
the best.
Yeah. D-Hop, draft him. Just be smart about it. Don't take him too early where you're reaching crazy and then your team's going to hurt and you're going to put yourself in that 0-6 position. All right. In other wide receiver news for the Cardinals, they let Christian Kirk go in free agency for crazy money, which was smart. So they did bring in Kyler Murray's former college teammate in Hollywood Brown. Where are you ranking Hollywood and how much is his value impacted when Hopkins returns?
This is a tricky one.
Yeah. I personally have him at 26.
Ooh, you likey.
Yeah, I have him as a high flex.
I feel like he would be right around there because I feel like when D-Hop does come back, he's going to eat up most of that target share. But not every pass can go to D-Hop. So, I mean, Hollywood's going to get his. But I also like Rondale Moore this year. I think he's going to be a sneaky pickup.
Okay, we'll talk about him in a second too. But for Hollywood, I think he's someone to target just because those first 6 weeks you're looking at D-Hop being out. He could be a top 10 wide receiver in the league at that point. And then week 4 or 5, if he's putting up big numbers and you're looking to just move on from him or something, like he's going to be a big trade piece at that point. His value is going to be at an all-time high.
Yeah, just trade him the Gator.
Find
the Gator of your league and say, look at these numbers.
Yeah. Look at these numbers, dude. He's putting up big numbers. Take him. Nah, but I do think he'll even have season-long value when D-Hop returns too. I think he'll still be a more in the flex range rather than the wide receiver 2 range, but I think he'll still have value. I think he's going to have big games with Kyler in that offense for sure. For the third wide receiver spot, Matt mentioned one of them in Rondale Moore. They also kept old man AJ Green around for another year. Do either of these guys have any value, and are you targeting either one? I guess I'll
AJ
let Matt
Green
start off.
is a virus.
Yeah, he is.
That's all I'll say.
I wouldn't draft AJ Green to Sean's team. Rondale Moore, on the other hand, I would gladly take him as like my 4th or 5th wide receiver because he showed little like flashes last year with Kyler, and he is fast. He's a deep threat, and Kyler likes to go deep. Same with Hollywood. So, I mean, this offense could just be gunslinging it all season long.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. As a dynasty Rondale Moore owner, I was definitely disappointed when they traded for Hollywood. I thought he was going to be that X wide receiver that they just threw the ball to all the time for deep passes. But I do think he does have some sneaky value as well. He's going to be out there for a lot of passes. They use a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. They even use a lot of 4 wide receiver sets with their spread offense. So I think Rondale Moore would be the one I want to own. AJ Green, I'm staying away from. He's going to be that guy on the free agents that gets like 10 points one week and everyone's going to be like, do I add him? Nah, just leave him out there. Get rid of him. Yeah, AJ Green, stay away. Without Q being here, I'll play the part of Q saying, draft AJ Green. He's going to
don't speak those words into the universe.
Yeah, Q is the biggest AJ Green stan. You know he would be saying that. He would defend him as a not a flex, but he would say he would take him over Rondale Moore probably. Q,
he would
you're in the chat.
Honestly be crazy enough to say he would take him over Hollywood.
I don't think he would say that.
I think he might say that.
He might say that.
He's in the chat. We'll see if he says anything. I'll bring it up in a minute if I see it. But let's move on to some cap or no cap. Let's start with Kyler Murray. Cap or no cap, Kyler Murray avoids the second half slump and injuries this season and finishes as a top 3 quarterback again, as he did in 2020.
Cap.
No cap. No cap.
Ooh, I like
No
that,
cap.
T-Gods.
No cap. Too many juicy targets. This offense is way
He's
too
missing
good.
his wide receiver 1 for the first 6 weeks, cuz.
Yeah, but they got Rondell Moore, man. Come on.
All right. He ain't no DeAndre Hopkins.
You're asleep. You're
I
asleep on your
I don't know.
remains.
I think there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the league right now, and for Kyler to make top 3, he has to be playing out of his mind.
He will be. He could
There
do
are
it
a lot
all.
of good QBs, but I'm gonna go with T-Gods here, obviously, with the bias here.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you already knew what I was gonna say. I didn't even have to speak. I could have probably just said nothing, and everyone would know. But yeah, Kyler Murray, I'm pounding the drum for him. I think he could be a top 3 quarterback. I do have him ranked at 4, if I'm gonna be honest.
Technical Sean.
As of right now,
Who do you have over him?
Things could change, but I have Josh Allen at 1, Mahomes at 2, and Herbert at 3.
I was going to say, if you didn't have Herbert over him, you're suspect.
I got Herbert over him. So I got Kyler at 4. I do think he could easily finish top 3, though. So that's why I'm still siding with that take. Let's do the next one. Cap or no cap. James Conner replicates his success from last year and should be drafted as a top 10 running back this season with Chase Edmonds shipped off to Miami.
Cap.
No cap.
Cap. Cap.
No cap.
Bro, he did too good last year. There's no way he runs
He
18
did that
touchdowns
good
back
with
again.
Another mouth to feed in the backfield. It's just going to be the James Conner show. And they could be running it a lot
Bro.
more with outs for the first 6 weeks. I mean, he's going to be the workhorse of that backfield. So why can't he do it again? And they feed him
Injuries.
Injuries scare me.
Injuries.
All right. If he doesn't get hurt,
If
don't.
he
He
doesn't get hurt,
he
he could be
needed
top
another running
10.
back. He needed another running back there to keep him healthy, bro. I'm telling you, he's gonna get hurt
Tyler
this year.
is the other running back.
But not top 3 though. Not top 3.
Yeah. I don't know. This one's tough for me. I don't think he should be drafted as a top 10 running back. I think he should be drafted a little bit later, like maybe like 15, 16, just adding in that injury risk because there is that risk with James Conner. We saw him get injured in the past, and also he's been around for a little bit at this point. He's got some bumps and bruises on him. Could easily get re-injured. I'm not rooting for that. I want to see him healthy all season for sure. So if he does stay healthy, he could finish top 10, but I'm just baking in that risk. That's all That's my only thoughts on James
Yeah,
Conner.
no, I definitely agree that he can finish top 10. Matt.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last year with Chase Edmonds. So
Mm-hmm.
if he's healthy, he's definitely worth that shot. Like, he's going to put up numbers. He missed 2 games last year, still finishes RB5, which is
That's
crazy.
huge.
Top 5 running back. James Conner. Never would have thought I would have heard that a couple years ago.
I would have called him crazy.
Yeah. Last cap or no cap. Zach Ertz continues his career resurgence in Arizona and finishes as a top 6 tight end this season. In 11 games last year with the Cardinals, he did have 56 catches, 574 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
I
Cap or
love
no
that
cap?
man. I love that man. No cap. Top 3.
No cap.
Ooh.
Top 3.
Top
Ah,
Top 3 is a little wild.
maybe. It easily could happen with D-Hop out first 6 weeks. He could eat.
He could eat. He could definitely eat. I got him actually at 6, so I think he could definitely be top 6. But the only thing that scares me now is that D-Hop, Hollywood, Rondale, they're going to have mouths to feed. He was getting a lot of those targets and points while D-Hop was injured, and they didn't have Hollywood at that point. They had Christian Kirk. I think that's a little bit of a different dynamic also. So I think the volume is going to be less, but I do think he scores more touchdowns, becomes a good red zone target for them too. So I think it could happen. Draft Zach Ertz as a solid tight end this year.
Bro, this
I love
offense is crazy.
Yeah, this offense is solid.
Crazy.
Throwing Zach Ertz in there too, like this passing offense is going to be juicy. Kyler top 3, man, it's there.
Top
Writing's
3.
on the wall. They just can't have that second half slump where like the Cardinals become an absolute joke.
Yeah.
And Kyler always ends up getting hurt like week 10, week 11, where like then he starts slowing down. But if he stays healthy, it's a lock. Q said Ertz not top 3, and he also said Cap. He wasn't agreeing with AJ Green. He said he sucks.
Finally.
Finally, he came to his senses.
He had to type it though. He wouldn't let it come out his mouth though.
Yeah, if he was here, he probably would have still been piping. I'll stand by that. All right, let's do some bold takes before we do some trivia and Q&A. T-Gods, start us off for the Cardinals.
So D-Hop comes back week 7, finishes the season. Like from week 7 on, he's going to be a top 3 wide receiver.
Ooh.
He's coming back averaging 7 receptions, 90 yards, and a touchdown each game, 22 points per game. He's coming back. He's munching.
Yeah, he is.
That's big
Uh-huh.
points.
Come back angry.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to come back and have a big season. Especially he's going to be fully healthy at that point, like ready to go. Got to lock him in at that point.
Y'all know he only missed 2 games before last season?
Yeah.
That's insane. 8 years, missed 2 games.
Yeah. Mr. Reliable, man.
He goes out there and plays hurt, though. Like some games, I feel like he's just a decoy.
Occasionally, but not often. Like most of the time, if he's playing, you're starting
him.
If
he's playing, he's
playing. Yeah. All right, Matt, what do you got?
Like I said earlier, that man, James Conner, is a touchdown machine, and he will once again finish in the top 10 of running backs. Chase Edmonds gone. It's just him. He's going to get fed. Like I said, he's going to be the bell cow back.
Did we lose him on his bold take?
We lost him on the bold take, but I think we all get what he's saying. But we can all assume.
Matt, you can tap back in on that after I do mine. So we'll go with mine. We all know I love Kyler, so I'll leave that one for our preseason award show. Make sure you tune into that in August. But for now, give me Zach Ertz finishing as a top 5 tight end again for the 5th time in his career. That's a lock for me. Not super bold. We know he's going to be pretty good. I think he's being drafted around like tight end 7 or 8 with his ADP. So like people are obviously aware that Zach Ertz is good, but top 5, lock it in. I didn't go as bold as he got saying top 3, but I do think that could happen too. We've seen it in the past.
Yeah, why not?
The only thing that scares me is the other mouths to feed, but Zach Ertz is going to get his. It's going to be a focal point on this offense. Lock it in, top 5. Matt, what else do you have to say about James Conner now that you're back?
The passing game is only going to help James Conner because they're not going to be able to stack the box with all the speed on the outside. So I think that how many touchdowns did he have last year? Like 18?
18 total.
Unreal.
I think he could finish right around that number again this year.
That's a lot of touchdowns.
That's a lot of touchdowns.
A touchdown a game. That's it.
That's so many.
That's so many, bro. It's not happening again. There's no way. There's no shot.
That was like free money if you were betting on that too. Like James Conner.
I always had him in my parlays, dude.
Yeah.
James Conner, 1+ touchdown.
There was a week where I didn't have one with him in there.
Literally locked in.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Him and Cam, 1 rushing touchdown.
And he can. All right, let's do some trivia. Q is not here, so I will be the host for trivia this time. So feel free to play along in the chat. Let me get a timer ready as well while y'all get something to write with.
Are you going to give us a normal question or one that has like 20 different loops in it?
I think they're pretty simple.
Okay.
I think they're pretty good.
I'll be the judge of that.
All right, whatever.
You might have to take over.
No, I like playing the trivia. Q has some good questions.
No, he
Sometimes
does have
they're
some
a
good
bit
questions, but
complicated.
sometimes I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, I hear you on that. All right, let's do the first question. So last year, DeAndre Hopkins was not a top 15 wide receiver for the 3rd time in his career, this time due to injury. Can you tell me what were the other 2 years that D-Hop was not a top 15 wide receiver? Timer starts now. So you just need the year.
Literally just guessing.
2 years, yes.
Other than last year.
Yes, other than last year. There are 2 other occurrences where he was not a top 15 wide receiver. I'll give you a hint. One was his rookie year. So if you know when that was, that helps a little bit.
I think I have it.
You got both?
I think.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Q had him the 1 year where he was also not a top 15 wide receiver also. The 2nd time.
Fuck. Now I'm not sure when he was drafted. You know what? I'm sticking with it.
All right. I got him.
Both got him?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Didn't even really need a timer on that one.
But wait, I'm changing it.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
Waiting. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
All right. The years were 2013, which was his rookie year, and 2016.
All right. I got 2016.
I
thought he was drafted in 2014.
I got 2013.
2013. What'd you put for the other one?
He wasn't even playing yet in 2012. I knew one of them was right. One of them
wanted
was
to get the rookie year. Hey, play for 1 point. That's what works.
I have to. Playing defense here.
All right. I like it. I respect it. Yeah, it was 2016. He actually struggled that year a bit. His quarterback play was like at an all-time terrible level. He still had 150 targets that year, but only caught 78 passes and only scored 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He still finished wide receiver 26. Like he was a flex, but it was just a very down year for him. All right. I have one more question. This one's a little bit more of a thinker. All right. I'll give you, I guess, half of a point for each one because there's a little bit, there's more than one person here. Now I'll give you a point for each one. Screw it.
Yeah. Point for each one.
Point for each one. All right. 1,500 rushing yards has become a harder target to hit for NFL running backs since teams started passing more and more. Can you name the last 5 NFL running backs to hit 1,500 rushing yards in a season? Timer just started, so 2 minutes on the clock.
Can I have a hint?
Okay.
How many years back does it go?
It goes back to 8 years ago.
Oh my. All right.
1,500 yards is a little bit tough. 4 of them are active players. 1 is retired, which is the one that was 8 years ago.
Well, shit.
That should help a little bit.
Ooh. All right, I'm playing defense again.
So this is specifically rushing yards, by the way. Just want to make sure that's clear. 1,500 rushing yards, not like scrimmage yards. So like, not like Darren Sproles receiving yards adding up with rushing yards or anything. Just rushing.
This is hard.
This is really hard. This is a juicy one.
It's a good one, though.
5?
Yeah, there's 5. 5 total. Do you guys want the years?
No.
I'll give you the year of the first one, which was 2014. I said it was 8 years ago, but I'll be clear, it's 2014. And he is retired. The rest are all active running backs.
Oh my God, there's 2 that it could be. 2 retired ones that it could be. I'm sure they've both done it.
Guessing.
I've one that I think is completely wrong. Like so wrong. But I'm rocking with it.
I know I have at least 2 right.
Oh my God, wait, no. Wait. No,
Go ahead. Finish it off.
Okay.
I won't be super strict. Everybody got 5?
Yeah.
All right, write one more down. First bullet comes to your head.
Anyone. There's so many running backs. Write one.
Literally write
Kenyon Drake.
Dude. Yeah, don't write Kenyon Drake.
Hold on.
All right, man. I'm going to give you 10 more seconds.
Sean Alexander.
Yeah, write him.
No. I can't even think of one. Fuck it. I'm rocking with 4.
All right, whatever. All right. Do you want me to tell them yours? You guys want to tell me who you have? All right, I'll tell you guys. Screw it.
Yeah.
2014, DeMarco Murray with the Cowboys. That's a tough one. That's a deep cut.
Those it was either I had Frank Gore and AP. I thought one of them had to be right.
Nah, AP was close, I think, in 2015. But I don't think he ended up getting it. I think he had like 13 something. And I think he led the league, but he didn't have 1,500 rushing yards. 2016 Ezekiel Elliott.
Wrong on that one too. Go ahead.
All right.
I know I have 2 right there.
Q put all of his in the chat. He only got 1 right. So if Q wanted trivia points, he got 1. 2020, Dalvin Cook.
How did I not know that?
Unbelievable, Matt.
Do I not know football, dude? Like I
No, this is a tough question because like you don't really know. I think Dalvin was really close to not getting it too. Like I think he just barely passed the threshold. Like 1,500 rushing yards is tough. I didn't realize it until I started doing the research for this question.
All right, I had to have 1.
He had 1,557.
I have to have
in 2019 and in 2020.
D-Hen.
Derrick Henry.
Thank you. 1 point.
What 2,000?
Yeah, exactly. He had 2,000, and he also had over 1,500 in 2019.
He would have finished with over 1,500 last year too if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, last year Jonathan Taylor had 1,800 rushing yards.
Oh,
I had 2. I also had CMC. That was another one I had.
CMC was close. Matt, who else did you have on there?
I don't want to say, man.
Just say it.
I had D-Hen. I got that right. I had AP. And then for some reason I wrote Le'Veon and Matt Forte.
Q also said Le'Veon. Matt Forte. Wow, you were going for old bulls.
Old Bulls. Because I didn't think anybody was doing it nowadays.
McCaffrey had 1,387 rushing yards, but he also had 1,000 receiving yards that season. So
Menace.
Yeah.
The one I said I thought was completely wrong was the one I scribbled out right at the end, and that was Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I don't know if he was close.
He definitely probably wasn't.
If you would have said Nick Chubb, I might have given you a bonus point, but no one said Nick Chubb. He had 1,494 rushing yards.
Oh, what a bummer.
I think 2 years ago when D-Hen had like a little over that. D-Hen had like 1,540. But yeah, it was good. That was close. Let's do some Q&A before we get out
How
of here.
many did Matt get?
Oh, yeah. Matt, how many did you get?
Well,
1?
total?
Yeah. How many points did you get? You got D-Hen, right?
Yeah, no, I got it. He got 2 points altogether.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. If we're keeping track for Q, he had 2016 right, 2012 wrong.
So Q got
doesn't
2?
need points. Q's going to be the host.
Oh, yeah. What the hell?
Q had 2 points.
We're stupid.
At the end of the year, we'll just have Q 2 points at the bottom.
I'm crossing it out. He gets zilch.
You might finish with more than me.
All right. We did get a couple Instagram questions. Let's start with one from @young_Chilo, CHILOO. He said, should DK Metcalf request a trade if Drew Lock does not perform?
Yes. Like I said earlier, he does not deserve this. Free
Yeah.
DK, please.
After Russ left, I would have been requesting a trade.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I'm surprised he didn't. I'm surprised he's still there sticking it out. But if the
Trying to be
season just
loyal.
starts going like way downhill, I'd be like, dude, get me out of here. I'd be like, I have much love for the city, but I'm trying to win a ring and it's not happening here.
Yeah.
All right. And then we got one from our host. Well, not host, co-host Q asked, if all Seattle running backs are healthy week 1, who do you feel the safest starting out of the 3?
Penny.
Yes, I feel like we did.
Yeah, I
Cover
would agree
that.
with that also. Rashad Penny, week 1 would be the one I want to start. Not many in chat today. Any questions out there from the viewers?
Where's Vince? We need Vince. We need one question
Yeah, Vince isn't even here.
per week.
Richie is here. I don't know if Richie's got anything. I don't even know if my chat's updating. Q said he has more points in trivia than Matt already.
Actually, we have the same amount, buddy.
Good, quicker than that, buddy.
And it's only because of his 8-part questions and divisions.
Division questions. Comes
I
right
get
at
every
you with
single one
those.
of them wrong.
All right. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, so I think that's a wrap for this episode. All right. That's the end of the first half of the NFC West. We will be back at 6 o'clock again on Thursday with the Rams and the 49ers. Also, follow us here on Twitch to turn on notifications so you know when we're going live. Throw us a sub on YouTube in case you miss any live streams because we post all of our episodes there. If you just want to listen to the audio, Spotify, Apple Music, we're there also. And of course, we're active on all social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Super Fantasy Bros clips and everything on those. Go check them out. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us with DMs. Q will be back on Thursday. Matt will be out. We'll miss you, buddy. That's a wrap for this episode.
Thank goodness.
Peace.